In this video, we're going to be looking at how the new online technology of Modlife is revolutionizing the music industry. First, let's look at a history of how music has been consumed. Originally, music was pressed on vinyl records. Eventually, as the records went out of style, we moved on to a more efficient form of consumption. This was known as the cassette tape. After the cassette tape, we moved on to compact discs, which we will all remember in our lifetimes. But eventually the compact disc even went out of style, and we turned to computers, whether it be downloading legally or illegally, sharing files, or even burning discs. Now, let's take a look at some of the statistics facing the music industry today in the world we live in. First, let's look at the sale of physical music. Between 2009 and 2010, CD sales went down 22.9%, and the total units of physical music sold went down 21.8%, meaning vinyls, CDs, cassette tapes, anything you can think of. And the money lost was 19.6% that of the previous year from physical music sold. Next, let's look at some digital music statistics. Between 2009 and 2010, 2.3% more units of digital music were sold and 10.2% more money was gained. But that's not where the alarming statistic lies with digital music. The alarming statistics come when we look at illegal downloading. So let's take a look at some of those alarming statistics. According to the IFPI, which is the international equivalent of the Recording Industry of America, in 2008 only 5% of music downloads were legal, and 40 billion illegal tracks were downloaded. If you equated that to every internet user in the world, that's about 30 songs illegally downloaded per year per internet user. That's pretty alarming. But the problem goes back even farther. In 2003, CD sales dropped 61% from the previous year. Ironically, 61% of teenagers reported that they simply would burn friends' copies of CDs rather than purchasing one. Do you see a correlation between these numbers? The problem goes back way farther than the years we are living in right now. So what does this mean for artists today? Artists are struggling to make money the way they used to, which would be selling records, so now they have to get creative in their ways of making money and keeping alive. And this is hurting underground artists even more because the little money they would make from record sales is now little to nothing. This problem really all began in 1999 when Napster came out. Napster was a way for users on computers to share music files, making the need to buy records almost obsolete. Furthermore, DJs today on radio stations are getting less creative with their playlists because marketing executives are telling them what to play. So new artists aren't being exposed on the radio as they should. Furthermore, with illegally downloaded music being rampant today, there are several lawsuits to try and reimburse these artists for the music that they have made and the money they have lost. But the problem is that these lawsuit cases aren't worth the money. For example, the money it costs to have court cases and lawyers and attorneys far outweighs the couple hundreds of dollars that some of the artists might make as a result of these settlements. So artists are really struggling to make money. Since 2001, record labels today aren't putting out as much new music as they used to. Back in the day, records would come out yearly or even biannually for some artists. Nowadays, it's very common to see an artist release a record maybe every 2, 3, or even 4 years. The problem is that the money is just not worth it, and these record labels are trying to release fewer records to try and compensate for the money it costs to make a record and the money that they might make. So who's going to fix this problem? The savior is a very unlikely suspect. I'm sure by now, everyone knows who the band Blink-182 is. They came out in the early 90s and were a pop-punk band. They are known for their humor, their fun spirit, and their lack of a serious attitude. Many people didn't take these guys very seriously for the duration of their career, but around the year 2003 they reached their peak in popularity when their self-titled album came out. They are one of the biggest bands in the world. Around the year 2005, they went on an indefinite hiatus, and frontman Tom DeLonge, who was the vocalist and guitarist of the band, went out and started a new band. This new band was called Angels and Airways. One of his major goals when he formed this new band was to revolutionize the way we looked at the music industry. He saw the impending problems facing the bands today, and he knew that bands weren't making money anymore. He wanted to change the way that bands monetize their art and the way that art in general was consumed by the internet world. Tom DeLonge is quoted as saying that Modlife gives artists tools to reach out and interact directly with their fans and monetize this interaction in a number of different ways. It was a response to the situation unfolding on the internet. People had premium content that they were posting, and most of the time it was for free on websites such as YouTube. The way that Modlife worked was that users could pay for premium subscriptions to their favorite bands or artists. Modlife considers anyone an artist, anyone who can put something online that can be consumed, whether it be an artist, a musician, a race car driver, a chef, anyone. The goal was to have users subscribe to their favorite ones, and they could pay for what they wanted to see. Some content was free, such as tour dates, biographies, and even some music. The artists would choose what the fans would pay for and what would be free. They could subscribe to premium content such as live concerts, live sound checks, perhaps bonus tracks on albums, live videos, movies, short clips, anything that a user would want to subscribe to for their favorite artists. And this really revolutionized the way bands could interact with their fans. Not only could bands put up premium content, but they could select whether this content was live, whether it was predetermined as to a scheduled appearance online, and they could even appear online at any time. Interestingly, they would use technologies known as ModCam and ModBlast, where fans could log on to the internet and they would interact with their artists. The artist could simply go online and say hello or update his favorite fans as to what they were doing. And they could even interact with their fans because fans could write comments to the artist during these live chats. Interestingly, these live chats would be posted to Twitter so that fans all around the world would know what was going on. It was truly a connection of technologies around the world. Fans, like never before, could be connected to their favorite artists. No longer would artists have to determine their fates based on their record sales. This technology definitely both had the artist and the fan in mind. For example, Tom DeLonge describes the website as a prepackaged tool. Artists can choose to view statistics based on their sales, their fan interaction, and anything else going on from any computer or phone anywhere in the world, and could connect with any of their fans. The website even adapts to a user's internet connection. If a fan has a slow internet connection, the website will use a slower speed to connect with the fans. And the same goes for an artist. It would adapt to a high speed or a slow speed connection for the best possible results. This website allowed bands to post blogs and connect with their fans in new ways like never before, and the band or artist of any kind could choose how they monetize things, whether it be monthly memberships, if they wanted to have their movie be sold, have their movie be rented, if they wanted to sell their music, have their music be downloaded for free. And this would all add up to revenue that would equal more than what a CD would end up selling. And the fans can choose how they interact with this content. Whether it be purchasing something, renting something, picking a monthly subscription, or simply being a casual fan with a free connection, they could see a predetermined amount of content at their own disposal. Furthermore, this new technology, as previously mentioned, was connected with Twitter, so that the artist or the fan from all over the world could see what was going on. They could connect like never before. Furthermore, Modlife came into contact with Google and uses Google Analytics so that the band can look at statistics like never before. Furthermore, developers of the website as well as Tom DeLonge are quoted as saying that Modlife only makes money when the artist makes money. For example, if an artist doesn't sell anything, Modlife makes no profits. When an artist sells an album or a video or anything, any type of content that was placed online, this is when Modlife and both the artist would make money. Tom DeLonge's band, Angels and Airwaves, spent a long time negotiating to get off their record label because, due to these new technologies, they realized they didn't need this anymore. It was a truly do-it-yourself ideal. They could do everything they needed themselves, they could regulate everything they needed on their own, and there was no need for corporations and record labels to tell them how they interacted with their fans, how they monetized their art, and other interactions they had with their fans and with other people. In 2009, Tom DeLonge's band, Angels and Airwaves, released their third album entitled Love. This album was released entirely for free online and was available for download to anyone. You didn't even have to be a premium subscriber to Angels and Airwaves. This truly proves that Modlife really revolutionized the music industry. Here's a quote from Tom DeLonge directly explaining how this was possible. The question posed to him was, how much money did you spend making this album that you have to make back without charging for the music? And he answered, well, Modlife, the platform, is a brand new revenue stream. It's never existed in music before. That's what financed our movie. $1.5 million, $2 million bucks, whatever we're into that for. The album itself, we're into that over $500,000 just for recording. The way we get our money back is not going to be through selling records. It's going to be, for example, if on a Thursday night you want to lay in bed with your girlfriend and watch an Angels and Airwaves live footage from London, you're going to watch it at our website. When the movie comes out, you can go to our website and rent it or buy it. Or if you want advance tickets and early entry into the shows, you can watch the sound check or you can become a member of the site. Tom DeLonge's explanation of how his band was able to make money after spending millions of dollars making a record truly proves that his technology revolutionized the way the music industry can work. After spending all that money making a record, he didn't even have to sell the record for his band to make money. They could use the previously stated methods to make their money back. This can be applied even further than the music industry because, as previously mentioned, Modlife caters to anyone. You don't have to be a musician. You can be a sports athlete, a race car driver, a chef, anyone that has content. You no longer have to require corporations to regulate things. Modlife has truly revolutionized the world and hopefully will continue to do so.